On June 28th, 1914, in Cervo, Bosnia, was where the assassination of the key leader that ultimately led to the domino effect of the next 80 years of European and global history. Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, which ignited a spark that would engulf the world into conflict. His death not only shattered the fragile part and peace of Europe, but also set in motion a chain of events that would reshape nations and redefine the power. A question may linger is what outcome was contributing to this assassination? Almost all of Europe was drawn in to this assassination. Many alliances set into play, and for the first time, the world was at war. Ferdinand's death changed the way of war, and a new generation of weapons, tactics, and style of fighting all came into effect, as this world war was sought out to be the war to end all wars. This single act of this single act of violence unveiled centuries of political alliances and paved the way for a devastating global war. Franz Ferdinand's death sparked the First World War, which included countries to be split up into joint alliances. The Axis powers, which included Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire, fought against the Allied powers from Russia, Serbia, France, Great Britain. A good number of European countries took part in this war, some Middle Eastern countries, and some countries from the Western Hemisphere. Great Britain, France, the USA, Canada, Japan, Serbia, Russia, Germany, the Ottoman Empire, Austria-Hungary, Italy, and Romania. Three empires would collapse after this world war, including the Ottoman Empire, Austrian-Hungary Empire, and some say the Russian Empire, which included the fall in 1917. A new generation of weapons and artillery and tactics were born during this war. Tanks, mortars, submarines, warships, and fighter planes all made their debut during this war. The traditional standing side by side with bright uniforms were quickly changed to adapt to the battlegrounds, which were usually a dark green-red or gloomy brown, just to match the landscape. Trench warfare was born, such as more guerrilla warfare was also seen. Mustard bombing was used throughout this war, and many terrible tactics made their debut during this war. Nations forced into conflict tried to stop it, but only more and more war would continue on, deaths of many civilians and soldiers as well. This act led to the domino effect of the 20th century and paved a way for a devastating global war. The Treaty of Versailles ultimately forced Germany into starting a Second World War and letting outlawed politicians such as Adolf Hitler rise to power. The Cold War would follow up, leading to multiple countries into civil wars and two nuclear countries playing a big part, many of them becoming puppets of smaller countries, forcing them into making decisions of whether to be a capitalist country or communist countries. Countries were divided, innocent people were murdered, the world was left uneasy, just from the words of nuclear war. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand serves as a stark reminder of how a single event can alert the course of history. His death not only shattered the fragile peace of Europe, but also set in motion a chain of events that would reshape nations and redefine power. His assassination would lead to the outcome of the First World War. Ferdinand's death changed the way of war as a new generation of weapons, tactics, artillery came into effect, as this world war was sought out to be the war to end all wars. Finally, this single act of violence unraveled centuries of political alliances and paved the way for a devastating war.